Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heartful of Hallmark. We are so excited to be joined once again by Adrian. Thank you for coming back on.
Guys, it's so good to be here. I made the new intro.
Yes! I was hoping you would notice that.
Definitely. With my big, long lion hair.
Well, you might make the new intro because I have another one coming about Christmas time. So about every
Wow.
Christmas, there will be a new intro.
Now I expect to be a part of it. And when I get taken out of it, then I'm going to be upset. So you've put yourself into a corner.
There's a few people I won't take out. I can't take out you, the fish, or Cindy. You three are our biggest supporters. I mean,
totally fair. Cindy,
well,
Cindy is Cindy's so good. I've worked with Cindy. I love her to death. She's amazing.
Oh God, we have to talk to her soon.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
She's nice. I was an editor in one of her movies, and and when I came on set, she was like, "Are you Adrian? Are you the editor?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh." She knows my. She's so nice. She's such a lovely person.
Speaking of lovely people, you got to tease us a little bit the last time we talked to you about this film. So we were told that you were scouting places in Italy. So let's get into this
That's
film.
true.
Chef's Kiss, now available on Roku, just premiered in February, but we've been busy. He's been busy. We won't get into that. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. We'll give you a bit of a little bit. But we're here to talk about Chef's Kiss. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome, like, and subscribe. We do interviews like this as often as we can with literally the nicest people in the world. He has been a big supporter ever since I first talked to him, what, a year and a half ago?
Maybe longer. Could be longer. I don't even know. I got to go back and check the archives.
Time does not exist on this channel. We're just friends. As soon as you come on screen, we're friends with you anyways.
100%.
So our names are going to pop up on screen. The questions will be right there. Just in case our mics cut out or something, you can see the questions right there. And so that we don't talk over each other, our names are right beside the questions. So I'll start this one off by this. How did you first get involved with this project?
Great question. I'm trying to remember because this movie was, I heard about it being made for like 2 years. Like they were the production company I work with a lot, Jack Entertainment, they were talking about doing this. And I have Italian ancestry. I actually have dual citizenship. I'm a citizen of Australia and of Italy. And I love Italy. My sister got married in Tuscany. I've been there, 10 times in my life. It's a really beautiful place. And I was like, oh, wow, a movie set in Italy. That's really interesting. And at the time I was busy doing another movie and, that was still kind of going through the scripting phase. And I wasn't involved in the script, writing this film. They were developing that whilst we were developing another one. Maybe it was Roll in Paradise 2. And I was like, okay, great. And then last year in like June, they contacted me and said, hey, so we've got this script done and we're looking for a director. Would you be interested in doing it? And I was like, okay, send me the script. And I enjoyed it. And I was like, so are we going to Italy to make this movie? And they're like, no, we're going to make it here in Australia. And I was like, I don't understand how that's possible because having lived in Australia my whole life and traveled to Italy since I was 5 plus, I was like, they do not look similar, but they had a plan for how they're going to tackle that. So that's how I first got involved in it. It was many, many years. And then suddenly you want to direct this movie. That's how it happened.
That's so interesting, like to hear about that too. And I think it's interesting, like knowing that they have them themed at like certain places and then do it somewhere else and still convince you that it's that place.
Well, there's something like, I don't know if you have a separate question for like, why did it shot in Australia? So I didn't want to like lead into the next question. I thought I'd just tease with my answer, but there
Yeah.
was a very good reason. So I guess maybe I'll wait for that question, or you could ask me that later.
Okay. So my next one was, how did you work with the actors to bring like the emotional layer into some of the kitchen scenes?
Well, it was super fun because at the beginning when Adrian was cast, which obviously made
Mhm.
it fun because it meant that the star of the movie and the director are both called Adrian, which was difficult to figure out at first. And eventually I was like, well, I'm not going to make my star change their name. So I'm going to have to
Mhm.
change my name. So, like, for the whole of this movie, I was AP and Adrian was Adrian. And so people started going, hey, AP, or AP, can I get this? Or blah, blah, blah. And then when we finished the movie, I went back to being called Adrian. I didn't feel like myself anymore. It was kind of strange. Had to get used to it. But working with those guys was awesome. For me, it was important, and quite a pressure that the character of Mason, who Tim Robards plays,
Mhm.
I was like, but they need to know how to be in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, like there's certain things that when you're an actor, like Alexander, Mitchell Burke as Prince Alexander in the royal movies, he can just pretend to be classy and kind of pull it off just because he's got like
Mhm.
charisma for days.
Yep.
But he doesn't have to. If you're a chef, you've got to know how to use a knife. You've got to know how to work around a kitchen. It's a thing that's much harder to fake. It's an actual skill set. It's an actual
Mhm.
profession. And so I was like, we're going to go to kitchen training with these actors. But thankfully, Tim is a very experienced chef. He's like the main cook in his family, or at least that's what he told me. And he was like, I'm very handy with a knife. Don't worry. I can do all
Uh-huh.
this stuff myself. And he was right. He did an amazing job. And so the fact that, Adrian's character had to kind of not know her way around a kitchen and he had to have those skills, it all kind of worked out in the end.
Mhm. Oh, that's interesting hearing too that he already kind of knew how to cook. Because that was gonna be
Yeah.
one of my questions. I was like, did he just like go into it blindly? Did he have to take classes? But
He was very, very good. I was super, super lucky that he knew about
yes.
that. We would have trained him otherwise, but then the fact that we didn't have to meant like, great, then we could spend that time doing actual rehearsals for the
Yeah.
scenes, which, is pretty important too.
Food plays such a big character in this movie, but we know that food can be very difficult to work with. How much food did you actually get to enjoy after calling cut? With
You
movies
know,
involving food, they can be either steaming hot, 24 minutes later after you call cut, they're ice cold, no one gets to enjoy it. So how much food did you enjoy?
such a good question. You know what? What was amazing was there's a scene in this movie where a character has to put a pizza. Julia, who plays, our Italian chef, chef's assistant Bella, she has to put a pizza in a wood fire oven. Like she puts it in, and then there's a bit more dialogue, and then the scene ends. And so every time we ran a new take or a new angle on that scene, we had to use a new pizza. So as soon as we called take, everyone grabbed a piece of the pizza and ate the pizza. So like on that one, it was amazing. Like we got everyone, the whole crew was like, okay, amazing, delicious pizza every time we finished the take. And there was definitely some of those macaroons and other kind of sweets and desserts that were like, oh, these are
Mhm.
definitely still viable after we, because we make these movies pretty quickly. So it's like, you've got to like you get in there. So there was a lot of the gnocchi, not so much. That was pretty after being rubbed around everyone's hands for like a couple of hours. You didn't really want to touch that gnocchi, but the pizza, boy, did we enjoy some good pizza.
And I loved like the rebrand with the caricature drawings for the new sauce design. So what kind of was the inspiration for doing that in the film?
Um, yeah, what was really interesting is like that was one of the things that I really liked about the movie is,
Mhm.
whenever we do these rom-coms, I always like them to be about something else as well as the couple's romantic story, because
Yeah.
obviously, like, we know that the couple are going to have one personal journey, which is their falling in love.
Mhm.
And we've obviously got to have that. But we also have the other characters and their journeys and like even like the bigger theme of the movie.
Yeah.
Um, and all of my films have had that. It's not just two people falling in love, it's also about lots of other things and ideas and important messages that work hand in hand with the love story. And in this one, it really was for me family, but the notion of how you put love and care into food when you prepare food with and for your family, and how
Mhm.
that's a thing that is about community, and it's a passion thing that people, it's very difficult to be a chef or a cook or to run a kitchen or run a restaurant in this day and age. You really
Mhm.
have to have like a very, very deep passion, and it can be very difficult work. Um, and so we just wanted to weave in those themes. And so when we were talking about what is the rebrand going to be, for me, I was like, well, let's not forget, it's always about family. It's always about the importance of family. And so that the whole like sketching and making art, and the whole notion of there like being caricatures and stuff, all of that's connected, right? Like, because
Yeah.
Lauren's a designer, and so she is very tactile with her hands and
Mhm.
creates and builds stuff visually, and that includes the rebrand, which is inspired by not only this notion of family, but being in Italy, from Italy with love, like that theme that runs throughout it. And Bruno's caricatures all connect. I think they all kind of come together in the mixing pot, of like inspiration and art and family, and how, and I love the caricature of our two leads when they're dancing, and then which was made by Pele, our art designer, who did such a good job. She and her husband worked on that together, and then it was in the editing room when we were like, we should have another one at the end of the movie when they're actually
Mhm.
kissing, and that like would be the final drawing. And so that kind of went through the whole movie. um, and that was the thing that I really liked about the story, that just gave it like its own personality a little bit.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things too. I just liked how well like all the characters intertwined throughout, and you could really feel like the sense of connection between all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was important. And it was,
Mhm.
I don't always get to have like, the support characters don't always get to even have like a
Mhm.
journey or like an arc.
Yeah.
Sometimes even like one of the romantic leads doesn't have that much
Mhm.
of an arc. Sometimes it's only just one person. So it was
Yeah.
great to kind of explore that, and to like give each of the characters like their own little journey
Mhm.
and payoff and scene where they were kind of the hero or the main character. That doesn't always happen in these films, and so it was really lovely on that one to do
Yeah.
that.
Speaking of lovely scenes, I know that whoever cleaned up this specific scene, you know where I'm going with this. There's multiple scenes in cooking movies where there's montages. How do you tackle shooting montages when you know there's going to be slow-mo added in post?
Well, that's an awesome question. And what is that it's not actually added in post. We shoot it in slow mo when we're making the film. So we decide in advance we're going to shoot this part in slow motion. And it's so interesting because, you have to make sure that you go, okay, we've shot the whole scene. We know that we've got all the dialogue, we've got the important stuff. Because when you shoot slow motion, you have to change settings on the camera. um, and it's easier once you've shot it in slow motion, it's easier to play it at normal speed than it is to shoot at normal speed and then make it slow motion later on.
Mhm.
Um, but what it also means is that you can't shoot sound, because if you shot the sound and then played it back, it would be really slow and like, "Whoa." So you don't really, you don't, so you kind of either then have to say, we're going to get the voices later in like the recording booth, or it's going to be set to music or something, right? Which this one was. And it's always fun with slow motion stuff, because obviously when you shoot it at normal speed, sometimes it can maybe feel silly, or like, oh, that was over very quickly. I don't know if that's necessarily all that good, but you get used to it if you practice it. And it's like, okay, guys, just throw all of this flour at yourselves. Just go absolutely crazy. And sometimes you have to say to the actors, I know this might feel a little bit silly, or it might feel a little bit forced, but trust me, which didn't happen on this one. The actors had an
Mhm.
amazing time. I think you can tell they really got into it. But then when you slow the footage down, it's like so amazing. It just looks so awesome straight away that you're like, oh my God, we're spoiled for choice. It was interesting though, because when you shoot slow motion, you have to make sure that all the lights that you're using are set to certain settings, because the lights in our houses and the lights that we use on film sets, they're actually not on constantly. They're actually constantly turning on and off faster than our eyes can see. But if you
Yeah.
slow down the cameras sometimes, they can see a little bit of those lights flickering, which can mean that it can. So you have to then be like, okay, are all the lights set to? And where there was one light that we just caught at the end, where we're like, wait, is that flickering? And then we managed to catch it. So we saved the day on that one. But yeah, you've always got to be careful. Slow mo can be like very touchy.
With that flower, how big of a mess was that after you shot it? And aren't you glad that you weren't the one who had to clean it up?
I am so glad. This movie definitely had the biggest mess after any day. I mean, like we all, the crew did an amazing job of cleaning all that stuff up, and we left the place just as beautiful as we found it. But boy, you're right that I was like, call cut, and I'd be like, okay, great, we've got to reset. I'm gonna go get a glass of water because you're gonna be doing that for a few minutes. But they always manage to get it right. That being said, it's a kitchen, right? Like sometimes it's like it makes it feel like there's a little bit of activity in there that makes it look like they're busy working in the kitchen. So
Mhm.
it's it all ended up looking amazing in the end. But yeah, thank goodness
Yeah.
for our crew that cleaned up that mess.
And what was it like working with Adrian? Because I've been such a fan of her since I was little, especially with like Cheetah Girls and those types of
Totally.
things. So, did you have like a favorite part that she did or like a favorite moment of working with her?
Working with Adrian was so good. I actually mainly knew Adrian from Coach Carter, where she
Yeah.
played Samuel Jackson's daughter. That was the first time I saw
Hmm.
her. Obviously, I was aware of the Cheetah Girls. You guys know, friend of the show, my co-writer Kyra Bradshaw, also a big Cheetah Girls fan. So as soon as she found out, she was like, "What?" So she was like, "You're working with what? Who, what?" Um, and she was so amazing for the role because, like, Adrian brings an energy that
Hmm.
I have like is unique and the type of like high energy that I have not had a chance to work with before. Like she is 1,000% on as soon as she gets to the set until she
Hmm.
goes home, and in a wonderful way because she's so kind, she's so gracious, she's so funny and just like so not egotistical or like she makes fun of herself constantly. Like it's really, really refreshing. Um, and like I got to say that the most amazing thing about working for her was like she brought like when the scenes required the drama or required her
Hmm.
to be like serious or like especially some of those beautiful scenes where she's working with Dina playing Lauren and like with Francesca, there's really beautiful emotion there and I really believe like that she's going to those places, but her comedic improvisations are unbelievable. Like we don't all like it's funny because on these movies we usually don't have improv. If we do have improv, it's something which comes up and then we kind of discuss it.
Hmm.
What's much more common, like for instance, working with Rhiannon and Mitchell on like the Royal in Paradise movies, is that we will go through the script together and talk about it and like make it, or maybe we change this line to this, or they have suggestions. Like we actually work quite closely together on the because these guys know these characters so well. Adrian is so much more of a stage performer, and she's so used to being both a singer, a comedian. Like she would just go on the set and just start firing stuff out, always that was like in character and for the scene, like not just random stuff that
Yeah.
wouldn't make any sense, but like she would just find extra ways to articulate things that the characters would say that were both funny and useful to the story. And sometimes it would be like, oh, we've only got this from like one angle because she said it once. And I was like, do that again. And then she would come out and then she would say something totally different, which was super equally good and funny, but it would be something totally different. So I was just like, okay, so sometimes we've only got like these improv moments like captured perfectly, but he's just so funny and so like down to earth for someone who has such an amazing, awesome life and is in such an awesome like creative family. And like her husband Israel came to visit set and he is also just like so nice and like really humble and was just like, oh, it's so nice to be here, and you guys look to be having a great time. And it was just awesome. So I had super fun working with Adrian, and it was like,
Hmm.
oh man, I'm so glad that I had this chance to collaborate with her.
Yeah, she just is such like a good storyteller, and you could see it throughout the entire film.
100%.
Hmm.
100%. So fun, really
Hmm.
fun person that made it fun to come to work.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last question, but there's a little bit more that I want to talk to you about. We want to tease something a little bit,
For
but
sure.
Kirsten,
So looking back at it now, is there like a scene that you're really proud of that you think like really captures the heart of the film?
Super, super good question. I mean, like, I suppose this is off the back of the early thing, which is like, we
Mhm.
shot this movie in Sydney at like a special, like, it's like a hotel, but it's a place that you can actually stay where the couple who lives there has transformed it into this Italian village, right? Um, and so the reason we made the movie in the first place is like we have this location,
Mhm.
which again, having been to Italy, I was like, this really captures the vibe and captures the spirit. So it's funny because for me, for the whole movie, my intention was I need to capture the heart of Italy, right? Like I need like because we're not in Tuscany, I have Italian family.
Mhm.
I love Italy, I love the Italian people, so I need to make sure this is right and to capture the
Yeah.
essence of Italy. What I thought was, there are so many scenes in it. I don't have like a favorite film because I think that every character, sorry, favorite scene in the movie, because I think that every character gets their own great scene like in this film. I think each and
Mhm.
again, like we're very lucky that each and every character had their little moment of like introspection and journey. I do really love, I do think that the scene at the end of the movie where both Adrian and Mason are being talked to by their closest allies, i.e.,
Mhm.
Francesca's talking to Mason, you know, and and um and Adrian gets to talk to Natalie, her cousin, about where you're going in your life and like not being afraid to change your plans if you find the person you think you should be with. Um, and cross-cutting between those two scenes were written and shot as separate scenes that flew after one another. And we were in the editing room, and my editor Pip was like, "I want to try something. I want to keep cutting from both of these moments, both of these characters, because the way you shot it, like it actually will work, looking really good." And I was like, "Oh, I love that stuff. Let's try it." I'm kind of annoyed I didn't think of that. And she cut it together, and I was like, "This is so great." It was like it was meant to be like this. And then when we sent that version of the film back to Roku for their notes and feedback, they were like, "We love this cross cutting at the end," and I was just like, "It was not my idea." But it was. But I think that that scene captures like the beauty of the location and the heart of
Yeah.
the message of the movie.
Mhm. I completely
It's a big
agree.
answer right there.
No.
and for everybody who has not seen, it's available right now. Check out Chef's Kiss, original Roku film, directed by our good buddy Adrian Powers. Thank you so much for coming on to talk about this one. But
You're welcome.
there's a couple more things that we got to go into. We're not going to say much. It was just announced that there's a release date for A Royal in Paradise 3, A Royal Wedding. What is the
Surprise.
least amount? What's the least amount that you can tell us about it without getting yourself or us in trouble?
I'd never get you guys in trouble. I would only ever get myself in trouble. No, that's right. So yeah, a royal wedding, i.e., a Prince in Paradise 3 in America, or Royal in Paradise 3 here in Australia. It's some, you got to preface that. But a royal wedding, yes, we have literally just wrapped. We finished on Friday. We finished the shoot on Friday. We've been shooting for a few weeks here in Australia. Um, it has been, and I know that like directors and filmmakers and actors, they talk about this. They say this sort of stuff all the time, and sometimes you're like, "Oh, this sounds kind of phony," or they're saying that because they have to, or it's in the press. This was the most fun I've ever had making a movie. This is my sixth movie, my fifth rom com, and it was, and I've had amazing times on all of them, and I love every single person that made all of them. This just happened to be the best experience because we had an amazing crew. We had that actors back. It was so, like this has the biggest cast of all of them because we bring all the characters, pretty much all the characters from both previous movies back for the story. So like it's just like an epic stacked cast. There's new characters in this one. Um, I think it is so. I really was thinking as we were finishing the shoot, and I was like, I've got this podcast coming up, and I was like, and they're gonna ask me about it, and I was like, I've got to start thinking about like I've just finished making this movie, and I was like, I've got to start thinking about promoting it already, and I was just thinking to myself, how would you describe this film, and in a way that would make them excited for it, and was truthful, and I thought to myself, it really is the most beautiful. It's the funniest, it's the most dramatic,
Mhm.
and the most romantic of all the Royal in Paradise movies. It really, really is. It's got so many great qualities from number one. It's got so many great qualities from number two, and they get put into this kind of beautiful blender. And it just when I finished it, I was like, when we finished the shoot, because obviously I've still got months and months, of making it and editing it and doing all of that together. So there's still a long journey for me on making this film. But when we finished shooting, I was almost, I was sad. On the last day, I was really sad because I was like, it's become such a family. Like me and the actors are so close. We're all friends. We all totally just like text and message each other outside of work, just because when you work on these sorts of movies with these people, you get so close, and they know their characters so well. It's literally like coming back just with family. We had a lot of crew members on movie one and movie two that came back from movie three, but we also had some new crew members come onto this one, and they fit in immediately, and we're like, wow, there is such a beautiful vibe on these movies. Like everyone's just having a good time. We're having, lots of fun making the movie. Um, and yeah, just going back and seeing Olivia and Alexander again, like, because we've been thinking about like what this story would be for so long, since even like when we were thinking about doing the sequel to the first movie, it was like, well, this would be the story of movie two, and then this would be the story of movie three, and we've pretty much managed to do that, and it's going to be super super exciting.
We are so excited to see it. Like, we can't wait. When we saw like the announcement, we
Mhm.
were like immediately messaging each other, like, "Did you see this news?"
Can't say anything. It is funny though, because we knew when the press release was going to come out, and we were making the movie like right in the middle of it. Like we were showing up to work that morning on set, and the producers were like, "By the way, the press releases are going out worldwide this morning." And I was like, "Okay, awesome." And so I Googled the movie. I was like, "Want to see what the press is?" And then I saw that there was like a story from like 3 weeks earlier where someone had figured it out that we were
Oh
already
no.
doing it. And they were like, "Yep, I think it's happening. I don't think it's Christmas. I think it's a wedding." And I was like, so someone somehow it got out somewhere, and not and definitely not
Like,
you
yeah.
guys. So it was like someone else said seen it on something, and they were like, "I've got to leak this to the
Oh.
world," which was so funny. And then I was like, "I don't think this is our story. I'll just wait for the proper for them to put the
Mhm.
real press out." But yeah, it's been so awesome. It's been great to finally be able to tell people that we're doing it, because like I've always wanted to do this, to do this chapter of the story. It is funny, when we made the first movie, when we were writing the very last scene, and it's all about like Alexander telling Olivia what sort of amazing adventure they could have, we were like, this is pretty good sequel bait. I think it's going to get people interested to see another one. And then sure enough, and when we did the first movie, we already had the story for movie two kind of not completely figured out, but
Mhm.
we had an idea of what we wanted it to be. And therefore we had an idea about what we wanted number three to be. And so then when we did movie two at the end, I just looked at Kyra cheekily, and I was like, we got to build in another sequel by going like, what's coming next? Royal Wedding. And so now everyone has just been, you just were so blatant with the end of the second movie. Where's movie three? And I was like, be patient. You got to be patient. Patience is a virtue. But yeah, now it's coming out. I think it's August. I think
Yep.
that's what they said. Great American
August
Family.
2nd, Great American Pure Flicks
Mhm.
here in America.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
That's right. Oh, that's right. It's coming on PureFlix, I think, a little bit before the broadcast,
Yeah,
right? There
I
you
think it
go.
is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. Cool, cool, cool. No, it's
And
been
I
great.
have been asked.
The hype has been awesome.
I have been asked, are we going to get everybody back? That's up to you guys. I mean, if all 4 of you guys want to come back on, we'd love to have you. We loved that. I mean, we went for 2 hours, and I think we could have went for another 2.
Definitely, definitely. We could have spoken. We could have spoken all day. I mean, the sun went down for Mitch while you guys were doing it. You guys know. I mean, I'm here now. I'll come back. It's always the. You know how it is. It's like scheduling and getting
Mhm.
everyone's. Mitchell's off doing movies or doing like
Yeah.
audiobooks, and Kyra and I are doing writing stuff. Rhiannon's always traveling across the globe. you know, making movies in Machu Picchu or in Queensland, Australia. Or in the Arctic Circle. But I mean, I can only speak for myself, but would once I mean, we love being on the show with you guys and we love communicating to the fans because we really do these movies because of the fans, like
Mhm.
because they get so much satisfaction from them. We make them and we go like anytime we're watching them as they're happening live, like we're just thinking about how much the audience, how much do we make this the best for the audience and how much are they going to get a kick out of this? And, you know, how can we tell a really cool story that's still surprising and maybe goes in some unexpected ways while still giving the fans exactly what they want, like from these
Mhm.
characters? You got to strike a very important balance. So I think we'd love to come back and talk about that. And because, like I said, working with Rhiannon and Mitchell is so good, and I think it's not something that's super common, but because those guys know those characters so well, we've done them now for years and years and years. Kyra and I write the scripts, the actors come in, and we sit down together and we'll go like, okay, like would Olivia maybe say this instead of this? Like
Mhm.
we really kind of workshop and rehearse, and then Rhiannon will continue and Mitchell will continue to like we'll talk on the phone or on the weekends and really work through. So these characters do feel like something that we've created together for the fans, and they're very very special movies that I really deeply care about. So I'm super excited for people to see number three. I
Mhm.
really do think number three is going to be the best.
I
I
feel like
will tease.
everyone like it keeps topping the next one. Like there's always more and the characters like I feel like what you were saying too like it resonates so well like their like own personalities reflect then in their own characters, which is nice to see.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. Sometimes I have to go like, hey, you know, like remember so sometimes we have so much fun on these movies that it's like, oh,
Yeah.
don't forget the previous scene was like full of drama. And
Yeah.
it's like, right. I'm not having an amazing time the entire time. Sometimes there's problems we've got to get through as a couple, like, but
Mhm.
or there's problems from like the royals or whatever, because we just have so much fun making them, and we just,
Mhm.
it's like it really is like a party. It's
Mhm.
so much fun.
I will tease one more thing about this. We don't have pictures. We won't get pictures for a while, but when I spoke to you by myself, you told me about the dress in the second film. There's
Mm,
obviously a royal wedding.
mm.
Is this the most beautiful dress so far? And what was your reaction and Rianne's reaction seeing it for the first time and you seeing it for the first time on her?
Oh my gosh. Well, yes. I mean, first of all, the dress in number two is just astonishing.
It is.
It's just incredible.
When
And
can we get
Andrew
it?
Cox. Andrew Cox is our Andrew Cox is our wardrobe designer, and he is so amazing what he does. And I have to work with it. He's one of the people that like on all of my movies, like I've got to have Andrew doing the wardrobe because he's just next level and he's so experienced. He's a British costume designer and he's been around for years and years and years, or has so much experience. And when we, as soon as we turned in the script and they, everyone on the crew read it, obviously it's in the name. There's going to be a wedding in this movie at some point.
Mhm.
Um, or maybe. And you hope. And I said, "There's got to be an Andrew. We've backed ourselves into a corner because some people don't get like the dress we had in movie two. That's better than some people's wedding dress. Like, what are you? How are you going to top yourself? Like, I'm afraid." And he just went like, "Watch this." And like the dress that we have in this movie is like, it's absolutely next level. Um, it's astonishing, and when when I first saw Rhiannon in it, I was like, that's amazing. Sorry. When I first saw Rhiannon in it, I was like, that's amazing. That's perfect. That's gorgeous. I love it. Then there's like this whole other thing seeing her on set, like as Olivia in the dress. Like when you're getting changed into a dress, then
Mhm.
it's still, Rhiannon going, how does this look? How do we feel about this? How do I move? Like what do I, like how much support do I need from other people
Mhm.
to be in this dress? And how do we make that look beautiful and graceful? Um, and then there's being on set and like seeing the actors in their wardrobe in character, which is just totally next level. And I will say that uh, whilst Rhiannon's dress in this is just astonishing. I mean, like it's one of those things where I was like, I don't. Are you guys going to put it on the poster? I just don't know. Like, are we going to spoil it on the? I just don't know because we haven't made those decisions yet. I was like, I don't know if we can, guys, because it might be just because they put the dress on, the other one, and I was like, oof. Um,
Yeah.
but like the, it's not just Rhiannon because like not only is the rest of the wardrobe amazing, but like it's been fun on these movies to be like, okay, what's Alexander's royal wardrobe?
Exactly.
Because in movie one he has like this black outfit, and in movie two he had this beautiful white outfit, very appropriate for Christmas. And so Andrew and I are like, what are we going to do for movie three? We've got to have a new outfit. And he's like, I have some thoughts. What do you think of this? And I was like, that's what I was thinking. That's amazing. So I can't wait for his royal outfit to come on because it's absolutely stunning. But the other thing that is amazing about this movie is that we do get to see Olivia and Prince Alexander in slight. There's this movie probably has the biggest wardrobe of all of the movies we've
Mhm.
done, and so many different changes and so many different outfits. And that's because it's not really a spoiler. The movie takes place in spring. So, like the first movie was very tropical, so everyone had
Mhm.
tropical attire. Second movie was winter, so everyone did have to kind of rug up. You're a
Yeah.
little bit, you have to kind of go with the seasonal
Mhm.
requirements for those movies. In spring, you've got the biggest options available to you. You can wear so many different choices, and so there's so many wonderful different costume and kind of wardrobe ensembles in this movie. Some really amazing wardrobe for our other cast as well. It's really beautiful.
I'm so excited because I just love like the fashion in all of them. And it's like you're stepping into like a fairy tale every time she wears like one of those like grand dresses.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I felt sorry. It is like we do wrap a scene, and I was like, okay, Rhiannon, go get changed. Shoot a scene. Okay, we're done. Great. Sorry, I'll be right back. Got to go get changed. And bless the actors because they always go through
Mhm.
that incredibly quickly.
Mhm.
And then they've got all their makeup. He needs to get redone and blah 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 blah. So like they're very good at that. But I was like, sorry, there were too many nice dresses and too many great set, like outfits for Mitchell. I was like, go change.
that that's gonna end a little bit of a tease, but since I know that you and I are big movie fans, like super into the bigger stuff,
Movies, movies.
so tomorrow, which is today for you, tomorrow for us is the
Sunday.
Oscars. I'm gonna ask you,
Yes.
what do you think is gonna win Best Picture? And if you had to pick, what would you pick for your Best Picture?
That is epic, Noah. That is an epic question. I cannot believe I didn't see this coming. I was like, why did I not think he's going to ask me? It's so interesting, right? So get this. Like, I let's let hang on, so I have not seen all of the Best Picture
Mhm.
contenders. Let's
Mhm.
get hang on a minute. Let's do this properly. So 2026 Oscar Best Picture contenders because there's 10 of them. So
Yeah.
let's get this up and let's do this properly. Okay. So we've got oh my gosh, that's right. Remember F1 is in Best Picture? That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. So we've got Sinners, we've got One Battle After Another, we've got Hamnet, Sentimental Value, Begonia, Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro, as not to be confused with The Bride with Christian Bale as Frank. It's a whole other thing. There's a whole other Frankenstein movie right now. Frame Dreams, The Secret Agent, and Marty Supreme. I believe that is all of them. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay. So which one do I think is going to win? It's funny, Kyra and I were just talking about this like 2 days ago. We were talking about the Oscars. I do think One Battle After Another is going to win Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's going to win. I truly do not know who is going to win Best Actor. Like, whether it's Leo or Timmy or Michael B. Like, I usually can give you a pretty good rapid fire answer,
Uh-huh.
but everything has just been super surprising. I mean, I will say I really enjoyed Timothy Chalamet in Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
I thought that movie was so intense. Like that, it just does not give up. Like that movie is like so hyperactive and so much of a ride. And I didn't really know where it was going.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been buying a lot of Timmy stock in the last couple of years because I was a little bit late to the Chalamet trend. Like, because like I saw like Call Me by Your Name like very late, and like all of his other big stuff like I saw very late. Um, and then Dune happened, and I was like, okay, I've got to go back and go to Timmy's school. And then I saw Marty Supreme by myself in the cinema just when we were making Royal 3. I was like, I've got to go
Wow.
see it. Because it actually, oh, and I should clarify, it came out in Australia a little later than it came out in the US. We
Mhm.
didn't get Marty Supreme until like mid-Jan. It was it was a 2026 release for us, not a 2025 release.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that's why they got it in there so they could qualify for the Oscars, and it was like smart, but we didn't get it till a little later. And then I was like, I got to go see it. Um, and I tell you, I only finally caught up with Sinners last night. Literally watched it for the first time in my house,
Mm-hmm.
um, on the 4K Blu-ray. Me and my wife Jess watched that. That was amazing. I've seen One Battle After Another. Saw that 70 millimeter at the cinema, which was like incredible. Just anytime I can see a movie that was shot on 70 millimeter film in a 70 millimeter cinema, which we have here. There's two of them here in Sydney, Australia. That was super intense. Frankenstein we saw in the cinema. Um, I'm going to see Hamlet with my wife Jess this weekend. We're going tonight,
Be prepared.
and yeah, I've been told. Um,
Yeah.
I will say I really liked F1. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't really enjoy F1. I mean, I'm a fan of F1. I'm a fan of Brad. I'm a fan of Joseph Kosinski, the director, who I think is an incredible, underrated director. Directed Top Gun Maverick, Tron Legacy. Um, you know, so many incredible movies. So I do believe that One Battle will take home the Oscar. If I got to pick what I think should be Best Picture, it's obviously a very ill-informed opinion because I haven't seen all the movies,
Yeah.
which is not good form. But I've also just been a little busy making some other movies, and I just haven't quite had the time to get away. And there are some movies I don't want to see without my wife. Like Jess and I really love movies together. We love seeing them together. So sometimes I do have to wait because we want to watch it together and then talk about it and, do that sort of thing. That's why I only got to Sinners last night. I was like, guys, we got to watch Sinners. So I don't know. I think at this point, I'd probably pick Marty Supreme.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. How can you
I
go
didn't
wrong?
expect to be so emotional by it. I didn't because I mean, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but I thought that there was some. I enjoyed it so much more than I expected to. I didn't really think a movie about. It's like again, I thought it was about ping pong.
Yeah.
Then when I found out, I was like, oh, that's not really what it's about. It's about hustling and trying to succeed in life. I was like, okay, wow, all right, and also being maybe a bit of a wild card. But I enjoyed so many of the movies this year. I enjoyed F1. Frankenstein, Guillermo's incredible. I can't wait to see Hamlet. Paul Thomas Anderson, amazing. Ryan Coogler, amazing. Sinners has been so what an amazing movie. So I'm kind of excited to see the result, but I think One Battle's gonna do it. What do you guys think?
Well, Kirsten knows that the Oscars are my favorite day of the year.
I know he always knows all this stuff about it. I'm like so behind on the movies.
Last
too.
last year, I literally I have an Oscars app, and I put money down what was going to be up for Best Picture, and I got 8 out of the 10 right a year in advance.
Dude.
And the one I didn't get was Secret Agent, and I'm like,
Yeah, right on.
I thought Wicked for Good. We saw that.
That is a safe bet. That is such a safe bet. I would have said exactly the same thing. I did not expect Wicked for Good to get total lockout.
Yeah.
Thought it was going to get that number 10 best bet. Give it to Wicked. Yeah, there you have it. You're never going to get it, but here you go. Put it on your DVD. And then I'm just like, nope. So, I'm getting rusty.
If I had to pick,
yeah,
One Battle's going to win it.
Yeah,
but there is a way they could not do it. If I'm picking Sinners. If I had to pick, I'm going Sinners. Sinners is one of the best movies I've seen in the theater in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just watched it literally this past weekend. Again.
There you go.
It's my fourth time.
We both locked into Sinners this weekend.
I need to watch it. Like, I haven't watched it yet, and I'm a huge Seinfeld fan, and I need to watch it.
I'll tell you what. Since you haven't seen it, it goes a completely different way about 40 minutes in than you think it's going.
That's it. Like, yeah, you think it's like, wow, this is the best version of this movie I've ever seen. And then suddenly you're like, wow, this is an amazing version of a totally different movie. And it is just very full on. Like, I recommend it. And it's one of those movies though, when you're just like, okay, when, like, you know, it's a nighttime movie. It's when you're in the mood for, like, you know, it's definitely not a rom-com. Let's put it that way.
No, it has some interesting romantic moments in it.
It sure does. It sure does. It's full of a lot of passion and a lot of love.
Yeah. A lot of love and a lot of red.
Yes.
A lot of red.
That's it. But it's never looked more beautiful. It's never looked more stylized and amazing. So definitely if you can't see it at the cinema, make sure, like, you know, because, you know, I'm lucky because we've got the 4K Blu-ray, you know, like, which is I'm a big crazy fan of owning movies on physical media, because I think that's the best way to honor the movie. And I love owning films, you know, like knowing I've got that, I can watch that anytime. And I picked up the Sinners 4K months ago, you know, like last year. And it was so great to take it out of the plastic and put it on. It is like you've got the cinema in your house because you can see every detail. It's just incredible. So yeah, that was a great experience.
I think what's going to happen is Paul Thomas Anderson is winning Best Director. It's his year. He didn't get it for Phantom Thread. He should have.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Michael B. Jordan's taken this Oscar mainly because the Actors Branch does the voting. And since they gave it to him at the SAGs, I'd go with Timothée Chalamet. I was a big Timothée Chalamet fan when he was just a small little part in a Christmas movie called Love the Coopers. And when all his characters
Timmy.
Oh my God. He was little prepubescent 15-year-old Timmy. And the only thing he did in there was he had a comedic bit where he was just dating this girl and they could not kiss at all. That was their whole joke for like their whole movie. I'm like, okay, cool. But this kid's got it. I saw it then.
He's got the juice.
And with Wonka, Dune, Call Me By Your Name. If you haven't seen The King on Netflix, Kirsten, amazing. Love it.
Yeah. See Timmy going with a full-on accent and having the worst haircut of all time and still having the Riz.
He can do anything he wants. I mean, dude even played Bob Dylan, and I believe he was Bob Dylan.
There you have it. But
yeah.
well, look, I mean, it's a very good case, and you've always got to look at the guilds, and you've always got to look at those different community, because if they voted on each other's, work. It's a review by your peers. So I mean, I think it's always exciting and it's always good when the Oscars has got buzz. You know what I mean? When it penetrates the culture and people, still when people are excited for the Oscars because they want good work to be acknowledged and rewarded. That's always a good sign. And it's so great that One Battle After Another is such a topical movie. Sinners is such an amazing work of individual artistic expression. Also, a very topical movie. Lots of really important themes and deep subtextual messages in Sinners. And then Marty Supreme is such a, again, it's just like an adrenaline shot of him. Like, the movie just grabs you, and then it's like 2.5 hours. It's like being like, thrown on the subway or something. It's like wild. I'm really excited to see Hamnet F1. I think is a great piece of popcorn cinema, and I've got to catch up on the rest. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll see. We've got to text each other as soon as the results
Yeah.
come in and see like Michael B got it. But I
Yeah.
wonder, like, here's the thing: are they gonna? Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, which character are they gonna? Is it it's like, can you win an Academy Award for Best Actor for playing two parts? I don't think that's ever
Exactly.
happened before. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, fam. If someone's won an Academy Award for playing two parts.
I think the only thing I'm not sure of is what's going to happen with Best Supporting Actress, because at the Guilds we've had Sinners, Weapons. Every single award show has had a different winner, except for the SAGs. That's where Amy Madigan won her second award. I'm pushing for Amy. Wumi Masaku in Sinners was just amazing. She gave everything.
Incredible.
She has 20 minutes in that movie, literally 20 minutes. If I was picking, I'm going with Amy Madigan because she was I hate to say she was the soul of the movie. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, she's literally the soul of the movie.
The movie is very much about soul, so he's doing a very clever pun right there.
It's not a Kirsten movie. It is not a Kirsten movie. Especially, I know you saw the trailers. You're a school teacher. It is not a movie for you.
But it is, I will say, it's one of those movies that it's just a great film, So it's one of those things that holds up, and it's one of those things that because I know how it is. Sometimes you're like, hey, look, I got my wheelhouse. I got the sorts of movies that I like, and I don't. And I got to tell you the truth, like I'm not a big like horror guy. I'm not a super big fan of like intense violence in movies. Not that I don't think that you should. I mean, like movies should be a place for it to tell any stories. And some movies need violence to tell their story, and some movies have violence as part of the entertainment. And that's totally fine because, like, we think like the rom-com space is pretty big, but our buddies over there in horror, boy, those people are just as into it. You know what I mean? Like they're just they're just as big fans. So I'm certainly not knocking that. But Sinners is one of those movies where you're just like, wow, this is just like a great motion picture that it's got some horror elements in it, but it's also just like, wow, okay, if I'm going to step out of my wheelhouse and go into like the violent horror camp, if it's going to be for a really great movie, I actually haven't seen Weapons yet either. Kyra keeps slapping me on the wrist for not seeing Weapons, but it's for that same reason where I'm just like, yeah, but like Jess, my wife, like again, she had to be like, okay, Sinners, I know I've got to I've got to be part of the conversation. We do not sit down and watch movies to scare each other. Like we do not watch horror movies. Even though
Weapons.
I've seen many of the best ones, but like, Weapons, I was like, I don't know if we're going to see that in the cinema. I don't think that's happening.
I'm glad I didn't. I would have peed down my leg. I'm not gonna lie. I
bet.
I would have whizzed down my leg.
I bet. I mean, Kyra saw it. She's much braver than me. She sees more horror stuff. Kyra sees like a lot more movies when they come out. I'm a little bit more of a like, I catch them on like DV. I like to watch them. I love going to the cinema, don't get me wrong, but I also love to relax at home because I have a big TV and like a big sound system. I'm not showing off. I'm just explaining myself. And so I often see them a little later. So maybe I'll catch Sinners on streaming or something like that, and we'll see how it goes. Because I know it's amazing, but I'm a bit of a scaredy cat.
It's not too bad. I watched it with the lights on, so that helped. That'll help.
That'll
Watch
do
it
it.
during the day. But then immediately afterwards, I'm like, I need something happy. So I'm like, Super Mario. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Bang.
like colorful. But
Exactly. I know that there are some people who watch horror movies and they've got like a really pleasant YouTube video just like preloaded, like pause it, just watch this for 30 seconds. Okay, just calm my nervous system, keep going. And I was like, I thought that was a meme, and then I found out people actually do it. I was like, bless.
two of my buddies saw me doing this with her, and they're like, what if we did a horror one? I'm like, cool. Then they said, can you make an intro for us? I'm like, how do I do that without getting copyright?
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to do? Show people like screaming?
Yeah.
I guess you could have like reaction vids.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. It was not easy to make. I made that by the skin of my teeth. I have a good buddy.
Good on you. Good job.
Whose band does they had an old band. I asked him for permission if we can use his songs. Thank you, John. Amazing dude.
Nice one.
They really work for intros, so I got lucky there. But
good job.
Anyways,
good job.
We could talk for a long time, man. We could literally talk for hours.
100%.
But we'll end this off by saying we'll be talking to you very, very soon.
Absolutely. When as Royal in Paradise 3 or Prince in Paradise 3, Royal Wedding, we'll just call it a Royal Wedding. Keep it simple. As the Royal Wedding comes out, as we continue to work on it, I'm so excited to, chat to you guys more about it. As you say, it'd be fantastic if we could get the band back together and bring the actors and Kyra on to talk about it again, because we all love talking about those movies and those characters. And yeah, as the network starts to release more and more stuff, we'll definitely be sharing it with you guys, and hope you can help us spread the word.
Yeah, we love promoting it, so we always will.
Thank you.
And I can't wait, because we've got some new games coming out. I can't wait to give Kyra another panic attack on stream. I'll make it just as hard.
That she loves it. She loves it. She does really great under high. She pretends that she's on the back foot, but she does really well under pressure. So it's all good.
No, but we have to see Rhiannon do the acting one that we did.
Yeah,
but we
100%.
haven't. There was like this one where we had like almost like a lineup of like a line where they had to like have a scene, and we kind of like explain like what the scene was, like how it was going to be, and then they had to come up with a line to say.
That's amazing.
And it was so neat to see them on the spot.
Yeah. And then I'm going to put her even more on the spot. And I'm going to put Mitch on the spot too, because I've been going back through a little bit of his work. And
oh yeah,
I'm going to go back, and we've done this before. We're going to have them guess which character said this line.
Amazing. Always fun. So
that'll be fun for you guys, because you Definitely. And Kyra will get to see them sweat a little bit. That'll be a lot. And I'll have
that'd be great
things for you too. A couple things.
Sounds like a plan.
But Adrian, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, again, check out Chef's Kiss right now on Roku, and this August 2nd, I believe, Great American Pure Flix. Get your subscription. I know that we have ours. A lot of great content on there, but you can also check out both Royal in Paradise movies on Nicely Entertainment's YouTube channel. Check them out there. Watch them over and over again. I know that we have, and we will continue to. Adrian, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me as Adrian J. Powers pretty much everywhere, on X, on Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. Love being on social media. Love like actually talking with the fans and like interacting with them and, answering questions and stuff like that. The fans of all of these movies are the best fans. They're always lovely and polite and really interested. And, we love supporting them because they support us. So yeah, come and say hi.
I do that often. I'm a big social media guy, and when he gets a steelbook in, I'm like, you lucky son of a. That's so nice. we don't
I have an addiction.
You're not telling me nothing, dude. I mean, I literally have to right here, but Kirsten, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kirst_Hendershot, and then also on our joint Hallmark page at Heartful of Hallmark.
You can find me, Noah_Kaser, on Instagram, Heartful of Hallmark page. Check out our last video. Netflix was nice enough to send us the whole 7th season of Virgin River early to talk about. Thank you to them. We love working with them. We love working with everybody. Every company has been nothing but sweet to us. And even when we don't work with a company, we do it ourselves, and we do it just that much better. No time constraints. Nobody here watching our backs. We love it that way, but we love it any interviews we get. Guys, like, subscribe for more, and keep your heart full of Hallmark.